Donald Trump is in the house, and I'm so excited to have you here. Donald Trump, Rob Schilling, it's a pleasure to meet you. We are going to put some headphones on you and have you address this audience. There you go. Donald Trump, this is a beautiful place. I heard your remarks earlier on today. You must be very proud of what your son has accomplished. And quite frankly, I'd like you to share just a little bit of the story you told earlier about your negotiation, how that applies to America.
Well, basically, and it's sort of interesting, and that's why I thought I'd tell it, this was a place that was going to be sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, and obviously I don't want to pay that kind of price, and we ended up buying the land and the vineyards separate from the house. It was separated because of the banks and all the difficulties, as you know, that they had over the years. It was very sad, actually. And we bought the land for about $6.5 million as opposed to about 90 to 100, which is what they want. And then I wanted to try and get the house as part of it. And the house was originally for sale, as you know, for about $100 million. And then it went down to 60, and then it went down to 48. And I figured, look, I'm not going to pay that. It's too much money. And I went out and bought the roads and everything going to the house because the people that owned the house weren't watching. And I was able to get the house for $6.5 million. And now we've created something really beautiful, bed and breakfast. I mean, it's probably the nicest that I've ever seen. I think it's the nicest there is in the world. And I said, it's not, from my standpoint, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that that's the kind of mentality or thinking that the country needs. And that's why I told the story. Because it doesn't matter whether I bought it for X dollars or X dollars. It's the kind of mentality that the country needs when we're dealing with China, when we're dealing with Japan. Look at Japan. They send millions of cars to the United States. We get practically nothing back. We send some wheat. We send some farm products, which is a tiny fraction. And we get nothing. And we owe them money. Think of it. We buy their cars, and we owe them $1.4 trillion. China's an even bigger example. What China's doing to us is incredible.
Donald, the point that you made was that we are being run by people who are the JV team, to quote a famous person.
Yeah.
And why are we running on the JV team when we're running a nation?
Well, we're running, and I don't even know if it's as good as a JV team. We're being run by incompetent people from top to bottom. And it has to change, or we're not going to have a country left. We're going to have a country that's not going to have jobs. You look at what's going on. I mean, Ford is building a $2.5 billion plant. Who ever heard of that? I mean, that's some plant. 2.5 in Mexico. How does that help us? And then they're going to sell cars and trucks and parts to the United States with no tax, no nothing. We get nothing. All we do is lose jobs and close factories up in Detroit and other places. So they can build that factory over here. They should build it. Let them build it in Phoenix. But we have such great, incredible places. But why do they have to build it in Mexico? And I have a lot of respect for it. By the way, I love the Mexican people. They love me.
Yes.
But I will tell you, the Mexican leaders, who I respect, are just too good for our leaders. They negotiate too good. They're too cunning. They're too smart. Our leaders aren't smart enough. Our negotiators are terrible. We don't make good deals anymore, whether it's Mexico or China or anywhere else. And just to finish, I will say this. As you know, I'm running. I'm doing very well in the polls. I will win the Hispanic vote because I'll be able to get jobs. I'll bring jobs back to this country, and people will work, and they'll make a lot of money. And I'm going to win the Hispanic vote. I employed over the years thousands of Hispanics, thousands. And they love me, and I love them. They're great people. But I will win that vote. Nobody else will win it. I will win that vote. And you will see that if I get the nomination.
Donald Trump, I know you've got a lot of people to meet. I'm so pleased that you stopped here to say hi to us on the Schilling Show today. Thanks so much. Good. It was great to meet you.
I hear you have a great show. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it so much. That's Donald Trump. Believe it or not, this is so incredible. I really appreciate you. Go enjoy your lunch now. Thank you so much. The Schilling Show, I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of thrills on this program. I've had a lot of interesting things. I have interviewed a lot of very interesting people over the years, but I have never had such an experience as being inside this beautiful place. We will. Donald wants to get paid.
Take care of this man. He's great.
We certainly will. And I'll tell you what, it's an exciting, exciting day here on the Schilling Show, and I want to thank everybody who helped to make this happen. We're broadcasting live from Albemarle Estate at Trump Winery.